This morning, the administration announced the intent to remove all American troops, not a large presence, but all American troops from Syria. I want to be clear, as I've tried to be all day about this. I believe it is a catastrophic mistake that will have grave consequences for the United States, for our interests, and for our allies in the months and years to come. The rationale behind the decision we were given today by the administration is that there's no longer a need for a U.S. presence in Syria because ISIS has been defeated. But just a week ago, the president's own envoy to the Global Coalition on ISIS said this, and I want to quote from his statement that he gave last week to the press. He said, "The end of ISIS will be a much more long-term initiative. Nobody is declaring mission accomplished. We know that once the physical space is defeated, we can't just pick up and leave."
The president's decision, which was announced via a tweet, is dangerous, premature, and wholly inconsistent with the facts on the ground in Syria and our own military's advice. You know, I was listening to Senator Rubio earlier today talking about what's the plan? What's the plan if we withdraw? Well, I'll tell you what the plan is. There is no plan. There is no follow-on. What are we going to do if we withdraw from Syria? In fact, if we look at this map, we can see this orange color. That's one of the pockets that remains of ISIS, right down in here. We have not yet eradicated ISIS, and that doesn't account for some of the cells that still exist throughout this area.
Do you remember being told that thousands of ISIS fighters have gone back into the fabric of Syria and they will reemerge under the right conditions?
Absolutely, and it's what we saw in Iraq.
To those who say we have defeated ISIS in Syria, that is an inaccurate statement. They have been hurt, they have been degraded, and I give the president all the credit in the world for changing our policies regarding the fight against ISIS, but I will not buy into the narrative that they have been defeated in Syria, Iraq, and I just got back from Afghanistan, haven't slept in 2 days, really appreciate the chance to go visit our troops and talk to our generals, but they sure as hell ISIS-K is not defeated in Afghanistan.
But I will concede that the way that the president went about making this decision makes our country an even bigger laughingstock than it already is in the region. And frankly, that's pretty hard because everybody is asking questions right now about why we pretended that we were going to protect our Kurdish partners in the region if on the eve of the Turkish offensive against the Kurds, we decide to pull out. It makes absolutely no sense to pretend for literal months and months and months that we were going to be the bulwark to protect the Kurds against the Turks, and then right on the precipice of the Turkish offensive, we leave. Why would anybody believe us in the future? Why announce this pullout without answering any questions about it or without announcing an alternative strategy? Total darkness from the president and his national security team. An announcement, a statement made on Twitter, and no rollout of a plan for how the United States is going to continue to try to keep the peace.